Greetings, friends. So, today was kind of interesting. I left Eugene and went to a farmer's market. And on the way there, I got to bathe a little bit in this slightly cleaner river. It wasn't a farmer's market, it was a freedom market. And it was, well, I could have used better traffic. It's kind of just the people that showed up for the event, really. Tried to peddle some of my wares, and well, didn't really. But some interesting things, and I apologize, I'm under a bridge right now. A little bit of noise. So some interesting things, contemplation, you know. So I tried to sell some of my preps, and especially my medical preps, because I have more stuff than I need. And I always figured it would be worth something. Especially the non-common things, you know. Like you don't see certain items on the store shelves, right? And one of those items I think that it's important for everyone to have in their medical kit is sutures, right? Beats thread and needle, you know, sterile. And it's super cheap, really. It's you can buy it on Amazon, real cheap. I was trying to sell both a suture training kit and some just packets, you know. And I kept getting interesting responses from people, like, "Whoa!" And these are like freedom-minded, you know. You would think prepper types, and well. You got interesting responses. People saying, "Hey, well, I could just go to the emergency room." Well, obviously, if Jay's the van, that's not necessarily the case, right? So, slightly disappointing in that regard. I would expect a little bit more, and maybe there's different places, like maybe at a gun show you might find more survivalist prepper types, but I think as a general rule people haven't let go of the idea that maybe medical, you know, care isn't going to be there for you, and you got to take care of it on your own, right? That's why I have a surgical kit. I have plenty of fish antibiotics. Not everything I would like. I've actually had to use some of them. And they do kind of go bad after time. And a bunch of things, you know. Bandages of all types, including tourniquets, which are really important. That's something everyone should have is a quick tourniquet. But I got to talk with people, I got to hear some music, drink some free coffee. It's a new moon, so feeling the energy change. And yeah, just trying to figure out my next move. I don't know. I'd really like to get out of Eugene. I've had enough of it, as far as I'm concerned. So we'll see how this goes. I have $23 to my name, and it's really hard to decide how to spend that money. Not many options when you're outside of any food networks and you don't use EBT, and you don't beg. So it's probably not going to let me stay out here in the country for too long, but I would like to stay at least a night away from the city. I'm not very far. Yeah, that's kind of more or less what I had to talk about today. That and just the human right to be able to buy and sell without any constraints whatsoever. And That's an inalienable sovereign right that didn't need to be enumerated. And yet, you go to any of these farmers markets and you see it's squashed all over the place. And I love farmers markets because I love fresh produce. I don't like the markets themselves. I don't like the exclusionary principles behind it. Especially like the stuff I was trying to sell today probably wouldn't be allowed at a farmer's market. Even just the medical stuff. I mean, seriously. They have some weird and screwed up stipulations, especially in liberal territory. But I had some good conversations with the people. You know, I would say the vibe here isn't totally freedom oriented. It's still very much, let's see how we can work within the system. And people are realizing that our time scale, is short, but they don't fully understand it yet, and so they're not fully taking action. Like, story of my life, trying to get people to see the truth of what's going on and to take action. Whether it's me telling people that there's going to be a financial housing apocalypse, which I did, and it was correct. Nobody freaking listened, right? And what's going on, of course, in the Middle East is a tsunami, giant tsunami. And yes, I mean, I'm hearing I'm listening to a lot of different reports about that. Some think that it's a logistical problem that can be slightly, evened out. I still don't buy it. More than 600 million barrels short. I mean, I don't see it. And in addition to all the other factors, no sulfur and natural gas, and allegedly, a peace deal has been signed. Even though there's morning or it was daytime there, but Israel bombed Lebanon again. So it doesn't sound legitimate. It sounds like I'm trying to think of a good way to put this, but it sounds like a giant fucking con. Like, oh yeah, we got this person in Iran that is speaking for it. Well, no, from what I've read, they got split up into different, there's no head anymore, necessarily. So whoever he's speaking to may not have the authority. And, Israel's not going to stop. Bibi's still, in survival mode. He can't stop. And Trump is beginning to realize the whole mess he created. But Israel probably has him by the balls with Epstein videos of him and little children. So, I don't buy it. And I think that prophecy of Yeshua is that it's, when they're saying it's peace and security, that's when everything goes. And if you're looking at the time frame, I mean, what would it take? Maybe a few weeks for peace and security to settle in people's minds. I think, oh, it's all clear now, we're good. And then we have diesel and gasoline inventory shortage that'll hit different places, but it's going to create a panic that will affect the larger thing altogether. So I don't buy it. I mean, I've been playing this stuff out. I've explained this These are the prophecies. Either the prophecies are incorrect, misinterpreted by me, or I'm correct. And you have a really short time now. And I'm going to bank on the latter because that's what I've done. I mean, I've gone all in, you know. So, yeah, that's where I'm at today, and I'm in good spirits. Just looking to figure out the next move, and waiting for that energy to come back to me because, well, it can get too much. I mean, it feels pretty hollow when you're just you don't feel it anymore, you know. And this is part of the whole hermetic principle, you know. I still think it's funny that we call it Hermes. There's nothing really surviving except for some old text and emerald tablet and oh boy. But supposedly the Kabbalah was hermetic principles from all the way back then. Yeah, it goes both ways, you know. It's a pendulum. And learning that is a big part of the journey. And if you're more disciplined than I am and keep track of the astrology objectively, maybe that's the reason I don't do is I don't want to preload anything. I don't really look at astrology very often. When I do, it's sidereal, an astro program, but I notice the effects of things for sure, and I'll usually see it in hindsight. And like I said, if you're more disciplined than me and keep a good log, you might figure out these patterns quicker than I have. I'm 44, and I started catching on in my 20s that there was patterns. No, okay, I take it back. 16, I realized full moons had some special effects, but you know, the other things take longer to understand, and everyone is affected differently, of course, depending on their whole astrology. So I think that's what I have to say, and I love you all. Take care, and see you when I make another one.